my camera out here, and it's sprinkling a little bit, and I didn't even know it. I think we're okay though. This is the lovely new Genesis G80. It boasts some incredible safety and tech features like smart cruise control, auto emergency braking, all in this mid-sized luxury package priced well below its competitors. Now, there's often a bit of misleading behavior that goes on when comparing vehicles and features and pricing. So today I am going to look more closely at the real differences between a base model G80 and some of its counterparts. Now let's go inside before I get wet. So let me preface this by saying I didn't just randomly choose these vehicles to compare to. These are the cars that when Chad went to a training event for the G80, these are the cars that the manufacturers said are, direct competitors. That's where these are coming from. But let's look at what we're dealing with. First, here is the G80 base model, rear-wheel drive. I'm going to include this destination delivery, shipping, whatever. I'm going to include that cost in all of these cars. So starting out, $42,350. Next we have the BMW 535, starting out at $56,845. Then we have the Mercedes E300 at $53,075. And finally, the Lexus GS 350, starting at $51,670. All of those base model, rear-wheel drive, including the destination charge. Alright, so let's just take a quick look here at the Genesis website and go over some of the features that they're showing off on the G80. So we've got lane keep assist, smart cruise control, blind spot detection, auto emergency braking, high beam assist. We've got a nice rear view camera with parking guidelines. Oh, the smart trunk. All kinds of great features. Let's jump over here to the BMW page where I can build out and add some options. Let's tack on heated seats for $500. The power tailgate, just like the smart trunk, another $500. Park distance control for $750. Rear view camera, $400. Right down here, the active cruise control, start stop technology, as well as some of those lane keep assist features. That is a $1,900 option. Trying to be as much apples to apples here as possible. Alright, so that was the BMW. Now let's look at that Mercedes. Add heated seats, $750. 12-inch widescreen instrument cluster. Oh, just kidding. It says $850, but apparently you have to add a massive package to get that, which is $11,000. So I guess we'll skip that. Adaptive high beam assist for $250. Sirius satellite radio for $460. Add blind spot detection for $550. So now this won't be quite an exact comparison because it looks like to add a rear view camera, it comes with their parking pilot system, which automatically helps parallel park the car, takes over the steering wheel and all of that. But that's $1,000. As far as I can see, that is the cheapest option to add the rear view camera. Alright, I think that's all we're going to do for the Mercedes. And I am going to save the Lexus here for just a minute. Let's go talk to Chad. Alright, Chad. Went through Mercedes website, BMW website. Look at all the additional options you can add to comparable cars to the G80. Got some questions for you. How much is it to add the smart trunk to the G80?
It's standard.
Standard. How about adding heated seats?
Standard.
Rear view camera?
Standard.
How about the parking distance, the sensors that tell you how far you're away from the car in front of you or behind you when you're parking?
Standard.
Digital instrument cluster with the speedometer and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's standard too.
How about the heated steering wheel?
Ooh, heated steering wheel. Standard.
Blind spot detection?
Standard.
Standard. Huh. Standard. All that other stuff I added to those other cars, hundreds of dollars of options. Standard on the Genesis G80. Now, the Lexus though. I gotta hand it to Lexus. The GS350 is a very well-equipped vehicle. Things like the backup camera, blind spot monitor with rear cross-traffic alert, braking assist, parking sensors, start-stop technology. All that stuff is standard on the Lexus GS350. So, kudos to Lexus for offering all that stuff standard on the GS350. But let's go back to talking about price for a minute. That car was gonna be $51,670. So it's all standard, but at $9,000 more than the standard G80. And not to mention what our bill for the BMW and Mercedes got up to now. We ended up at $56,135 on the Mercedes, adding some of those options, and a whopping $60,895 on the BMW. Now, let me give a little disclaimer here. Comparing cars is not always apples to apples. Different manufacturers have different ways that they structure their packages and options, and like we've been looking at what's standard and what is not. For example, if you do add all the options to the Genesis line and you add all the options to those other cars, there's some options that Genesis isn't currently offering on their cars. I tried to create as close of a car to each other as possible. I'm not saying that those aren't really nice cars. Chad himself said when he looked at that Mercedes that it was a dang nice car. But what I am trying to say, this Genesis G80 is a very, very competitive vehicle. Definitely worth considering and comparing to these other luxury brands and models that have been around a little bit longer.
What was that catchy tagline you wanted to...
New standard of luxury.
Genesis, the new standard of luxury.